Hello, everyone. I hope you are eager to learn more about maintenance, as you might be eager to go have lunch, but I invite you to stay a bit more and follow my presentation. My name is Lucas. I am a manufacturing expert here at Odoo, and before I start, I would like to share this QR code where you can write down your questions, and by the end of the presentation, I will be glad to answer them. And if you don't have time to scan it now, no worries, I will display it again later. Right, so this is what we are going to see today. Why maintenance? When we are implementing, people ask this question because there are other two apps that could create some confusion. I will answer some critical questions about this app and the challenges that we have, and also a very nice customization that we can make easily using Odoo Studio to integrate maintenance with inventory. Just one important information, I will not explain the basics of the app. So last year I was also here giving a talk and I explained everything. So if you're interested, I invite you to Google it and you'll find the video on our YouTube channel. And in that talk, I was explaining about corrective maintenance, preventive maintenance. So today is more about tips and tricks and best practice to use this module. Then we can start. Why maintenance and not field service and repair? I will try to clarify using this table because I think it's easier when you understand which features you can have in each app in order to make your decision. So when it comes to recurrence, so you need to perform tasks in a certain periodicity, maintenance and field service offer this possibility. In maintenance, specifically about preventive one, that you can book a maintenance in a certain equipment according to, I don't know, weeks or months, and etc. And as I'm talking about equipments and work centers, of course, maintenance is the best app because, indeed, the main purpose of maintenance is to keep your operation or your production running smoothly. So this is not what repair and field service offer. Kanban view, you can find in maintenance and field service. And timesheet is something that you can only see in field service. This is important also, talking about field service, because you can invoice the time of your workers to the client. And talking about client, we don't have clients in maintenance, of course, because as I said, it's an internal, it's an app to be used for internal purposes. Then you can only use customers in repair and field service. The native integration with inventory, you can only see in repair and field service, right? But as I said, there is a nice customization and easy that you can do in order to integrate maintenance and inventory. And last, analytic accounts, if you want to track costs, you can do it only if you use field service. Okay, so I hope this table helps you if you have a process to implement and you don't know which app to choose. But just to summarize, everything related to external intervention is about field service. Repairs, especially when it comes to products, it's the repair app. And as I said, internal maintenance is maintenance the best app because it's also integrated with manufacturing. Then we can move on, and I will answer some of the main questions we have when we have a project to implement maintenance. Just to give a context, I will have here a use case. I will talk about a company that is a unicorn. A company located here in Belgium with 3 different sites, Antwerp, Louvain-la-Neuve, and the farms. Maybe you know which company I'm talking about, Odoo. It's just an example, of course, but this could be in any industry, right? But the main point here is that we have 3 different locations, 6 buildings in total, several departments across all these locations. And my example here will be based on screens, okay? And we have, of course, 3 maintenance teams, 1 in each site. As I'm talking about this localization, 3 sites and so on, I will start with the question, where? So where is the equipment I should maintain? Just to give an example here, to see the complexity of this question, it's a simple one, but it has some complexity behind. Imagine that I am talking about a given screen, and I need to know where this screen is. I could say, okay, this screen is used by the business analyst team. But I cannot only say this because in the end I have business analysts in Louvain-la-Neuve, in Antwerp, but I don't have this team in the farm. GR here is a Grand Rosière. So if I cannot say that this equipment is assigned to a department, because in maintenance we have the field department, I could maybe try to say, okay, this equipment, I can find it in Grand Rosière 1. But if this screen is in this specific location, it might not be assigned to a specific department because it could be just in the storage room. So the best case here is to use the inventory app together with the Aimplay app to put both information together. And here I'm talking about a field that few people know the purpose, which is the location. So I will just use here one example. Before showing the equipment, maybe I will show what I have in inventory. First, I created several warehouses to represent the locations, so each site here or each building. And in my locations, I created this hierarchy. So I will just group by warehouse. And we can see, for instance, that in Louvain-la-Neuve, I have a location to represent the business service department. I have another one for HR, and so on and so on. Which is really cool is that if I want to see where my equipment is, thanks to the field that I will show now, we have this smart button. So easily from the inventory, I can see all the equipments that I have recorded in maintenance. And I can easily see where they are located, physically speaking. And the field I was talking about is this one, used in location. So few people really take advantage of this field. Maybe they don't understand how this should be used, but this is a nice tip that you can implement in order to link both information. Right. Then the second question, who should take care of a maintenance request? Because in the end, if I have 3 different sites and they're separated by hundreds of kilometers, I will not have people traveling around just to do maintenances. And this is a nice feature. In the end, it's not something huge, but could make a big difference that we implemented now in version 19, which is the possibility to have an email alias per maintenance team. So when I go here, as you can see, I created an email alias to Louvain-la-Neuve. And I will send an email here quickly. So help OXP. And I will just fetch this information. I will not wait the scheduler. So here in incoming messages, fetch now. And when I go to maintenance, I just received the email help OXP. So this is a very nice feature because before the email alias was linked to the equipment category, and now it's linked to the maintenance team, which makes much more sense. Oops. Then another important question is what? What is happening with given equipment? Again, I can use inventory to help me answer this question. And the field here that can make a big difference is the serial number. Let me show you here. If I go, for instance, here in equipment, I will search by one in specific. Let's say 0237. And as I have my serial number here, Odoo now shows this smart button that opens the door to navigate to the inventory app. And I have access, for instance, to the traceability report that can give me really good information about what is happening with this equipment. Because I purchase it, at some point I return it back to my supplier, maybe they repaired, they sent it back to me, again, another problem, and then I can keep track of this back and forth, and maybe at some point I will simply say, okay, I stop sending this equipment, I scrap and I buy a new one. And then another important question is when? So when I should perform a maintenance, and maybe to organize the schedule of my team, now we have a new field in version 19, which is the scheduled end date. I will show you here. When I open a maintenance request, for instance, before we had the scheduled date and we had duration. So we replaced the duration by the scheduled end date, and this will allow us to have a Gantt view. To be honest, this feature should be merged in version 19. We didn't have time to do it. We will probably be in one of the next intermediate versions. But if you have Odoo Studio, you can easily customize, and you have exactly the same result. As you can see, for instance, here, my team in Antwerp, they have some maintenance requests. And I particularly like this Gantt view to organize my planning, either in manufacturing and now here in maintenance, because it's super clear and it's user-friendly. I can see that, for instance, this employee, Anna, she's under the water. She has too much on her plate. And I could simply drag and drop to say, OK, maybe this task I will assign to Charlotte. This one I assign to Elizabeth. And then this one to Magdalena. And then Anna has only one task to work with. So it's super easy. If you have Studio, again, you can do it yourself. But otherwise, wait for one of the next intermediate versions that this Gantt view will be by default. And maybe this is the main question when it comes to maintenance: how much I'm spending to maintain my equipment. This is a customization, OK? It's important to explain that because we don't have this integration yet between inventory and maintenance. But it's a very simple one. As you can see, in the inventory app, I created a location here, first of all, whose type is production. Yeah, the type is production, but the location is named maintenance. And what I do with this is basically to create a new operation type, linking the destination location to this maintenance, because the purpose is to take components from my stock and consume. And this is why the operation type here is delivery. Once I have this operation type, I can show you here what I did next, is basically to create this many-to-one field, linking my stock picking module to my maintenance request. And this makes sense because, in the end, when I need to maintain something, I might need a spare part. I go to my warehouse, I request this spare part, and then it's important to keep track of this, and also, thanks to this customization, to link to a maintenance request. In order to be clear, I also added here the equipment. It's just a related field, because let's imagine I say here, OK, I want to maintain my screen. OK, I can see directly which equipment I'm talking about. And let's say that I need some PCBs. Let's say 2. I mark as to do. I will not show the whole procurement process because, of course, as we are using inventory, we could take advantage of the standard feature to procure, to buy product if we don't have in stock. So it's super nice to use in this way. Let's imagine in our example, I have enough PCBs. As we can see here, it's available. And when I validate, I can go, for instance, to my move analysis. By the way, I think you might have heard the valuation changed in Odoo 19, so it no longer have the valuation report. But you can find the same information here in the move analysis, because now we have the value displayed here as a column. The other thing that I did was to just add the equipment as a related field, so I can keep track of, from all stock moves that I have, which ones are related to an equipment. And why this is important in the end? Because I can keep track of all these costs. And in my case, I created a dashboard showing all my equipment from all the different sites, the locations they are. And I have here the purchase cost. This is a standard field. OK, it's there. The only thing that I did here in this dashboard is to add the current maintenance cost that I am pulling from my stock moves. And then I have a decision. For the moment, I keep maintaining my equipment because the cost is not greater than the original value. But imagine the following. I have again another maintenance request for this same equipment. And now I will exaggerate a little bit. I will just put, I need 10 PCBs. Once I validate and I go back to my dashboard, then I see that I'm spending more money to keep this screen working than the value I paid at some point. So it's better to scrap and buy a new screen. Okay, so just some tips, some hidden features that people don't know exactly how to make the most of them. And by using this, you can really answer these questions about where the equipments are, integrating with inventory, who is the team that should take the maintenance request, what is happening with a certain equipment using the serial number, integrating with inventory, when about the Gantt view, and finally, I can see how much I'm spending to maintain our equipment thanks to this customization that is super simple to do, and you can have a very good integration and make your decisions easily. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation. Thank you so much. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to write down on the pad.
Hey, Lucas.
Hey.
Thank you so much for your talk. So I will ask you a few questions. So how do you maintain the fixed assets of the company using the maintenance app?
Well, I didn't execute the flow here. The purpose was more to show tips and tricks, but it's basically when you have the maintenance request, you could even link with a spreadsheet, no, a worksheet, and then you can follow instructions. It's a Kanban flow, and then you basically follow what is written in the instruction, and you perform the maintenance. You have the dates and so on, and drag and drop to see if it's done or not. But
Okay.
I propose for the person, if you want to Google maintenance Odoo Experience 2024, then you will be able to see a better example.
Okay. Is it possible to consume spare parts when fixing an equipment and monitor their inventory?
Yeah, this is what I just explained. In standard, this is very important. In standard, it's not possible yet. We are trying to improve it. But by just doing this customization, if you have the custom plan, it's super simple, and then you can keep track of this important process of the company.
Okay. In order to link serial number of an equipment with inventory, do you have to create also a product for the related equipment?
Yeah, normally yes, because at some point you are buying this equipment, so the product should exist in the database. And then normally the product is tracked by serial number. So yeah, you must have a product.
Okay. Another question. How did we pull maintenance costs from a product moves?
Oh, exactly what I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect then. Can you subcontract maintenance work?
No, it's not possible in standard. It's a very nice feedback. I hope this will be added in a future version. But for the moment, these two processes are managed separately.
Okay. The questions. Is there a way to configure maintenance or link to assets so it will be visible at the same time?
Not yet. This is something that we are expecting to have in version 20, because it makes a lot of sense. You have the depreciation in one side, the maintenance in another side, and at some point you don't need to depreciate anymore, just scrap and buy a new one. But for the moment, there is no integration.
Okay. And maybe a last question, looking at them. Is it possible to link maintenance with accountants so you know how much you spent on external maintenance?
Well, usually if we talk about external intervention, it's more field service than maintenance. And then you would have the analytic account, which is also in field service. This is why I showed the table at the beginning, because knowing the features, maybe it's better to choose this or that app. But I guess in this case, the best would be field service instead of maintenance.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.